What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're in a 23 F-150, of course, regular cab. That's like pretty much all we do now. Just kidding, we still do Mustangs. Relax. But I am finishing up the test driving for this customer's truck, Jimmy. He's got about 4.5, 5 hour drive home, so just making sure that everything is 100% for him. We just picked it up from the alignment shop, so I'm driving around just to make sure everything's as it should be. And if not, we'll take it back, get it cleaned up. But this truck, he drove it here just for a RideTech 3.5 lowering kit. This is a two-wheel drive truck, by the way. And some race stars, and he provided the tires. He had a certain tire he wanted to specifically pick out, which is fine. And then we got him the race stars, some lug nuts, locking lug nuts, and a RideTech 3.5 kit. And the only thing we added on was, I say the only, we added on the air assist, which I have no air in them right now, which we'll get into that here in a second. And then we also added a rear sway bar, which I haven't done that one yet. So, but it is nice. It keeps like the rear end nice and square. Don't notice any harshness added by the sway bar, so everything's looking pretty good. But I've been wanting to make this video for a little bit, and I know because we sell a lot of different brands of F-150 lowering kits. I mean, if you go on the website, there's a lot. And so I kind of wanted to give my input on it. I try and be active on the Facebook groups and give my input when someone's asking. But I will say a lot, there's a couple factors, obviously, with suspension stuff. It's budget, you know, what you can spend or what you're willing to spend. And then obviously your opinion. You know, everyone has their different opinion on how a lowered truck should ride. You know, obviously you want everything to ride like factory, and not everything does. And a lot of people, you know, they lower their truck and they're like, well, it's gonna ride like that. It's a lowering kit, and they're fine with that. So a lot of it is definitely opinionated. Some people like a softer ride, some people like a harsher ride, not harsher, but like firmer on bumps and stuff. And just so you know, when we're driving this around, Amarillo has like some of the absolute worst roads. Especially the road that we were just on is a new road, but all these roads that we're taking, these back roads going to my shop, are absolutely terrible. They're dog shit. And my crew cab daily is not lowered, and it has airbags, and it's probably like one of the best riding trucks right now. And it still, I mean, these roads are awful. So take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, I think a lot of it is opinion based. But anyways, so we sell a lot of brands. We sell Fox stuff, Bell Tech kits, RideTech kits, IHC, VAS. Kel-Track shocks. There's a lot of stuff out there, and you know, we do a lot. I'd say we do a lot more performance stuff rather than like your everyday daily driver or street driver. Not that we don't do a lot of it, but we definitely do a lot of performance stuff. You know, almost everything that comes is twin turbo or getting a Whipple, and we also are doing the lowering kit on it as well. So. And the reason for that is because a lot of our customers at this given time, which we're very blessed and fortunate to have, they come from out of town, so they're getting like the full package. So, you know, whereas if you're just getting like a lowering kit or wheels and tires, you may just go to like a local shop to get it installed if you feel like they can do the job correctly. Which I will say, a lot of these kits, especially RideTech, their instructions are very thorough. I mean, they talk about, sorry, it gets like kind of dark when the sun moves, but they're very thorough with talking about shims, torque ratings, and all that stuff. So anyways, let's get into like the main purpose here. I gotta stop blabbing on, giving you too much background detail. So probably the three main brands I sell a lot of. I do sell some Bell Tech stuff. I sell some Fox, you know, shocks and coilovers and stuff. We do sell Rough Country. I don't have it on the website, but that's more for like the lifted stuff. Anyways, the three main ones if you're watching this video, the three main ones you're thinking about are IHC, VAS, and of course RideTech. So let's start, and that's pretty much the order they go in for me. You got your good, better, and your best. I wouldn't say any kit is terrible. A lot of it, like I said, comes down to budget, because IHC has some really inexpensive kits and they have some little bit more expensive kits. I'm telling you, these roads are terrible. So for me, IHC is definitely the cheaper option. It's definitely the bouncier option, but it gives your truck that good stance and it's upgradable, right? So a lot of their kits come with not the best shocks, but everything else is pretty decent. The control arms, the flip kits, all that stuff is pretty decent. I mean, you can only make a flip kit so many ways. You can only make brackets for coilovers so many ways. But the biggest difference comes down to his shocks and the parts it comes with. So probably the one that we do the absolute most of is gonna be VAS. And a lot of times we'll do VAS with Keltrack. So Keltrack is not his own shocks. They're essentially, he's found the best valving and spring rate for the Vikings. And so that's what you get when you get a Keltrack system. You can definitely do it on your own, but he's kind of done like the homework for you. And those are also very good shocks. And you can put those on any kit, right? So you can get an IHC and later on down the road, you're like, man, I want to do more performance oriented stuff. I'm gonna get some Keltrack stuff. So just so you know. But the most common we do is the VAS kit, how it comes, typically the performance kit, because that comes with the traction bars, or we do the VAS with like upgraded Keltracks, which are still Vikings. They're just valved, you know, his proprietary valving and spring rates, and they do definitely work very well. And he's got some long travel options if you're doing some no prep when you're trying to transfer some more weight. And that's always a really good option. So VAS is, I would say, like your middle of the road. It still rides really good. It comes with very good parts, and probably the biggest thing that VAS has over the other ones is it comes with Vikings. And Vikings have like 19 clicks of compression and rebound. So for racing applications, that's exactly what you want. A lot of the other kits, they don't have any adjustments, or they have single adjustables. But when you're drag racing, or even, you know, you're making decent power on the street, having the compression and the rebound options are very good. But you also gotta know how to use them. That's a big misconception. People think they could just turn the knob and it's gonna, you know, do wonders. But they do give you, so Viking has, if you look up on their website, they do have, you know, baseline points to start at. If you buy from us, we help you out as well. You can always send us a video, we'll help you out with some shock settings. And if you get Keltrack, he also will give you shock settings that he recommends for his valve. I'm telling you, these roads are terrible. This is about to be the bounciest part too. Oh my gosh. Oh, that took it really well. I'm telling you, I drive Kennedy's Dark Horse. That thing rides amazing, and yeah, it's the same on these roads. And like I said, my crew cab rides so good right now, and it just rides the exact same. These roads are terrible. This is not a good testament to this kit. This kit's really good. These roads are just terrible. So anyways, so that's probably what we do the most of. And like I said, the reason why we do the VAS is because the biggest thing is it has the adjustable Vikings front and rear. So you got you know, coil over in the front and then a shock in the back. And honestly, the stock location stuff works really well. Obviously, you relocate the shocks. It's a little better, but not until you're really making a lot of horsepower would you see that difference. So stock location works really well. Keltrack has some really good shocks for that if you want to go that route. The only thing with the VAS is it doesn't come standard with an upper control arm, and you really, really, really should get one when you're doing these 3.5 kits. They go just low enough where you need that little bit longer upper camber arm to make for adjustability. So at that point, you can add, we do it a lot of times, we just add an IHC upper control arm, and that gives you the adjustment when you go to get your alignment. And I think all the upper control arms, in my opinion, are all about the same. It's not like the Bronco. The Bronco, we had like billet options, Dom tubing options. You know, we had a lot of options for the Bronco. These, they're all made the same. VAS does make their own upper control arm, which has been really hard to get, but they just post, I mean, by the time I post this video, they will have just posted a couple days prior that I guess they're back in stock. So But it's not standard on the performance kit. The track bars are, which once again, if you're performance orientated, you're gonna want the track bars because that helps with the axle wrap. And axle wrap's a big thing on leaf spring vehicles. So that takes us to the last kit, my favorite kit for specific applications, like this application. It's a daily driver. It's Ride Tech. And the Ride Tech is definitely the more expensive option, but it also comes standard with upper control arms. But it doesn't come standard with track bars. So, and the thing is, if you want to use their traction, if you want traction bars, you can only use their traction bars. It only fits with their flip kit in the rear. So, that's the thing to note when you're doing the Ride Tech, is if you want to do Ride Tech and later on you want traction bars, you got to do their traction bars. And their traction bars are definitely, they're like double the price of VAS's traction bars. They're really good traction bars, but just know that if you ever want traction bars, you got to do theirs. And that's typically for most kits. I know VAS fits with some of the other kits, or you can make some minor changes to like the brackets or clearance some things and make them work. But I don't have like 100% answer on that for you, because I try and not do that. Try not hack up stuff. But so the Ride Tech, you know, it uses a Fox coilover in the front, Fox shock, like that Ride Tech and Fox has developed together. It has just a rebound setting, so it's probably not the best for drag racing. However, it could definitely do drag racing. But Ride Tech is definitely your daily driver street truck that you want to ride really well, still have some adjustment, and you know, a really quality kit. So that's why we did it on this truck. It's not going to have a power adder. He may do like gears, locker, some NA mods down the road, but his biggest concern was more of the best riding kit, and that would be Ride Tech, in my opinion. Like I said, the cool thing about the Ride Tech is it comes with the upper control arms. The other kits you have to add them, so that's kind of why the price is a little bit higher. But these are Fox/Ride Tech shocks they developed together. And then this kit, like I said, we added on the air assist, which any of the kits, by the way, IHC, VAS, Ride Tech, Belt, you know, any of those kits, if you add airbags in the back, you will notice a substantial change in ride. You run around like 10-15 psi in the bags. Kind of got to play with it depending on application, but it makes the truck ride so much better. Even my crew cab right now, I've got airbags in the back for when I tow, and driving around town, I've noticed, you know, if I just had like, I think 10 or 15 pounds of air in the back, it makes the thing ride so much smoother, because you gotta think the beds have no weight in the back of them, so they're just bouncing around all over the place. But those are my three kits. There's nothing wrong with any of those. You just kind of have like your good, better, and your best. Like I said, we do a ton of VAS, and that's kind of like the household one for all these trucks that make 1,000, 1,200 horsepower. We do have some fast trucks that run Ride Tech, and then kind of people over time, they also use parts, and you know, they kind of like mix match stuff. You know, they'll have like Ride Tech upper control arms, but then they'll have, you know, Viking shocks and coilovers. Then they'll have Cal tracks in the back. So don't get, a lot of people get this confused. Keltrac, K-E-L-L-T-R-A-C, is Kelly Aiken, used to work for BMR. He makes his own valving and spring rates. You know, he specializes in that for Vikings. And then there's Caltracs, C-A-L-T-R-A-C, which if you've been in like the leaf spring world, you know what Caltracs are. So don't get those two confused. I run Caltracs, C-A-L, on my single cab because they have the most adjustment and they have a thicker traction bar, and but my truck does not ride good. I mean, it rides okay, but it does not ride good. But it's most of its life is for drag racing. So that's why I have that set up. And I have Vikings front and rear. So my truck, just a little background, started out as a VAS performance kit with Keltracs, Vikings long travel, and then over time I've kind of changed something. You know, I did a custom 9-inch in the back. I did the Caltracs in the back, our kind of like our own traction bar mixed with Caltracs, and then I've, you know, did IHC upper control arms, and then now I'm changing all the Viking stuff over to a different brand, and so it just kind of evolves. But that is a strictly drag racing application. This video is about street driving. Like I said, IHC, if you want to save a little bit of money and maybe down the road you're going to upgrade the shocks, that's what I would recommend, is upgrade the shocks down the road or upgrade them now. If you want the middle of the road, really good riding kit, but with really good features and adjustability for racing, VAS. If you want the best overall riding kit, one and done, you do some racing, but the truck spends more time street driving, RideTech. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully that clears up a few things. We have all those kits on our site. You can always email us, sales@coyotedirect.com, if you got any options, or if you need more options or answers. And you can actually use ship free at checkout on pretty much anything and get free shipping. You're welcome. We'll see you guys on the next one.